Have you ever wondered why certain moments in life appear with perfect timing, as if the universe itself is holding its breath until you are ready? Perhaps a book lands in your hands at the exact moment you needed its guidance. A stranger speaks a sentence that resonates with the unspoken ache of your heart, or a dream illuminates a truth you could not yet see while awake. These moments are quiet, often unnoticed by others, yet they leave an indelible weight in the soul. They are not accidents. They are orchestrated, subtle invitations from something greater, a rhythm of life that waits patiently for the soul to awaken. This video has found you now for a reason. It has arrived as part of that same rhythm, appearing only because a deeper part of you is ready to recognize its truth. What looks like coincidence is, in fact, a sacred appointment with yourself, a threshold where destiny and soul meet. The timing is precise, the message is waiting, and the question now is, are you ready to step forward? Carl Jung described these uncanny alignments as synchronicities, moments when the inner psyche and the outer world converge in meaningful coincidence. These experiences are not random. They are the language of the unconscious, speaking through symbols, people, events, and subtle nudges in life. To say, God knows you're ready, is to name the archetypal reality behind these moments, the meeting point of the self, the divine wholeness within, and the ego that carries our day-to-day consciousness. Readiness is not about preparation in the worldly sense, nor about earning favor. It is the unfolding of the psyche at precisely the right moment. Life moves like a tide, and the unconscious only allows certain messages, experiences, or thresholds to surface when you are equipped to receive them. This is the essence of individuation, the slow, sacred process of becoming whole, where conscious and unconscious, human and divine align. What you are encountering now, including this video, is part of that rhythm, a symbol, a messenger, a threshold appearing at the moment your inner self can bear its weight. In the sections ahead, we will explore how this readiness manifests, how it speaks in the language of soul and psyche, and how to recognize the moments when God, or the self, has truly drawn near. If this video has found you, it is because the rhythm of your soul has been quietly aligning, preparing for this very encounter. Life, in its deepest essence, moves according to a timing that the ego rarely understands. We want answers instantly, we wish for signs on demand, yet the unconscious has its own pace, its own wisdom, and it unfolds only when the soul is ready to receive. Divine timing is not a human schedule, it is an archetypal rhythm, a hidden pulse that orchestrates the arrival of experiences, teachers, and revelations with impeccable precision. Imagine the seed buried beneath winter soil. It does not command the sun to shine or the rain to fall. It waits, it absorbs, it softens. Only when season, soil, and light converge does the seed push forth into the world. So too does the psyche. Our growth cannot be rushed. The ego protests, impatience, frustration, the desire to force outcomes before the vessel is ready. Shadow tension emerges in these moments, whispering that life is unfair, that destiny is delayed, that perhaps nothing will ever arrive. But Jung reminds us that individuation, the slow, sacred process of becoming whole, cannot be hurried. The unconscious surfaces its treasures in its own time. To demand them prematurely is to invite confusion, resistance, and inner chaos. And yet, when experiences appear with uncanny precision, when a word, a dream, or even this video finds you exactly when you need it, it is proof that the soil of your soul is fertile, that your inner landscape has been prepared to receive the seed of transformation. Notice how patience, trust, and quiet attentiveness allow the rhythms of life to unfold naturally. Do not dismiss this timing as coincidence or luck. There is a deeper intelligence at work, one that knows the precise moment your spirit is ready to awaken. When this message reaches you, it is confirmation. When the soil of your soul is fertile, growth is inevitable, and the unfolding that has been waiting patiently within you begins to emerge, quietly, inevitably, beautifully, as it was always meant to. If the timing of this video feels uncanny, it is because life has its own language, one that does not speak in schedules or calendars, but in patterns, symbols, and subtle alignments. Carl Jung called this language synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that reveal a hidden order beneath the surface of events, moments when the inner psyche and the outer world converge with astonishing clarity. Perhaps a book opens to the exact page you needed, a stranger utters words that reflect your unspoken thoughts, or a fleeting encounter illuminates a decision you have been silently wrestling with. These moments are never random. They are invitations, whispers from the universe, signals that the path before you is not arbitrary, but guided by intelligence greater than the ego can comprehend. Shadow tension arises here because the rational mind wants to dismiss them as mere chance, clinging to skepticism as a shield against vulnerability. Yet by denying these alignments, we risk closing ourselves off from divine dialogue, cutting the bridge between conscious desire and unconscious orchestration. Jung observed that psyche and cosmos mirror each other. The same patterns that stir within us appear outside, calling us to recognize their message. Synchronicity is the bridge between what we can control and what is orchestrated, a subtle indicator that the timing, the place, and the circumstance are aligned with our soul's readiness. The voice behind coincidence is quiet but insistent. It does not demand, it whispers, and it waits for us to pay attention. Notice the intersections in your life where events echo your inner state, where small signs illuminate decisions, where guidance seems to arrive without effort. These are not accidents, and they are not illusions of desire. They are the call, and it comes precisely when the soul has ripened to hear it. The intelligence of the universe, the echo of the self, and the quiet hand of God converge in these moments to lead you forward. The call comes not when you insist or demand, but when you no longer ask for proof, when you simply recognize the voice beneath coincidence and step into the rhythm of your own unfolding. If synchronicities have been guiding you, they are often accompanied by another quieter teacher, trial. Readiness rarely arrives wrapped in comfort or ease. It often disguises itself as loss, crisis, or moments when everything familiar seems to fracture. The path of the soul is not linear, and the journey toward wholeness requires passages through darkness, wilderness, and uncertainty. Archetypal storytelling has long shown this. The hero must endure the dark night of the soul. The pilgrim wanders through deserts, and the seeker faces storms before the dawn. In these moments, shadow-soul tension emerges with full force. The ego protests, cries out, and believes it has been abandoned, yet what feels like despair is often the necessary crucible that prepares the spirit to receive what is next. Jung observed that individuation, the soul's journey toward integration and wholeness, requires this confrontation with shadow. The unconscious brings forth what we resist or deny, presenting it as challenges, heartbreaks, or moments of failure. These trials are not punishments. They are the refining fire, shaping the vessel that will hold the deeper gifts of insight, wisdom, and presence. The very fractures that feel like endings are often the thresholds of beginnings. When life presses against us and old structures crumble, it is not to break us completely, but to align us with the readiness that has been growing beneath the surface. Notice how, after these trials, even small synchronicities feel amplified, how guidance appears more vivid, how your inner voice grows clearer. What once felt unbearable now becomes a teacher, a doorway into deeper understanding. If you are here at this precise moment, it may be because what once broke you has become the doorway. Your suffering was never wasted, it was preparation. Your shadow was never a punishment, it was instruction. And now, as the unseen rhythms of psyche and cosmos converge, you are being invited to step forward, carrying both the scars and the wisdom they impart into the next stage of your unfolding, ready to receive what your soul has been patiently waiting for. After trials have refined you, after synchronicities have guided you, after the rhythm of your soul has aligned with the universe, there emerges the most intimate and transformative encounter, the meeting with the self. Carl Jung described the self as the archetypal image of God within, the center of wholeness that exists beyond the ego, yet draws the ego into alignment with it. Readiness is not a matter of external blessing, nor a sign that life has removed all obstacles. It is the internal resonance between your conscious self and the vast, enduring self that has always been present, waiting patiently for you to turn inward. Archetypal storytelling portrays this as a pilgrim finally discovering that the temple they sought across distant lands has always been within their own heart. Every hardship, every moment of waiting, every subtle sign has prepared you to recognize this inner sanctuary. Shadow-soul tension arises because we often mistake readiness for perfection, believing that to be ready, we must have no flaws, no hesitation, no doubt. True readiness is not the absence of fear, struggle, or uncertainty. It is surrender, openness, humility, the willingness to bow before the whole and acknowledge that the wisdom we have sought externally has always resided within. Individuation, Jung teaches, culminates in this dialogue. The ego learning to listen to the self, the human learning to align with the divine, the conscious mind learning to recognize the orchestration of the unconscious. In this resonance, you realize that guidance has never been absent. The whispers of synchronicity, the lessons of trial, and the patience of divine timing converge into clarity that cannot be ignored. You see that readiness has been cultivated, not granted, and that the divine has always been within. To be ready is not to be flawless. It is to finally bow before the wholeness that has always guided you, to meet yourself fully, and to recognize that every step, every struggle, and every subtle sign has been leading you to this sacred inner encounter. Readiness is not a singular event but a journey, a gradual unfolding of the soul's rhythm that reveals itself over time. The timing of life, the subtle messages of synchronicity, the trials that challenge and refine, and the inner meeting with the self are all part of the same process, each shaping, preparing, and guiding the consciousness toward wholeness. Jung reminds us that individuation is God's slow and patient work within us, a harmonizing of ego and self, conscious and unconscious, human and divine. To embody this readiness is to live attuned to the subtle currents of life, noticing the synchronicities that reflect your inner state, honoring the trials that refine your character, surrendering to timing that cannot be forced, and remaining in quiet dialogue with the self that has always guided you. The arrival of this video at this exact moment is part of that dialogue, a mirror of the work quietly occurring within you. By receiving it, paying attention, and allowing yourself to trust the unfolding, you step into alignment with your soul's own pace, participating consciously in the quiet orchestration that has been guiding your readiness all along. If these words have reached you now, it is because something in your soul is ready to awaken. The signs, the timing, the synchronicities, the trials, and the inner meeting all converge here, pointing toward the same truth. You have been prepared, and this moment is a mirror of that readiness. Pause and consider, what if the very fact you are here, listening, reflecting, and opening is the sign you have been waiting for? Do not seek confirmation outside yourself. The God voice is already speaking quietly within, in whispers, nudges, and subtle alignments. To listen is to participate in the unfolding of your own soul, to honor the rhythm of life, and to recognize that the divine has always been closer than you imagined. This is Echoes of Psyche, where the inner journey meets the unseen guidance within.